Hi, good morning. So we're going to be looking at managing people in organizations again today. So we're actually looking at learning outcome 5 today, which I'm just scrolling down to. So today's learning outcome is to review own personal effectiveness. So you're actually reviewing yourself in this section. So there's a number of assessment criteria here. So 5.1 is to identify your own preferred learning style. 5.2 is to describe the behaviors of people who are confident, lacking in confidence, and overconfident and relate it to yourself. 5.3 is to explain the goal setting process and the difference between long-term and short-term goals. And then 5.4, which is here, assess your own time management skills. Then we go on to the merit section, which you would need to set SMART targets. So you set SMART personal and work-related goals, and then you'd prioritize your own workload. And then for the distinction section, you'd devise solutions for handling non-productive time, wasting activities. And then you'd also use a range of tools and techniques to develop your own creativity at work. So this is what we'll be looking at today. Now we've got indicative content towards the bottom here. What you need to look at is the managing the own performance section here. So things like levels of confidence, goal setting processes, SMART goals. This is what we're looking towards covering today. So learning outcome 5, review own personal effectiveness. Now you'll see the first slide is actually blank. So we normally do a class exercise here. But what I'll do is I'll explain the different learning styles, and then you can identify it from there onwards. Now there are 4 different learning styles. Now I've prepared a little Word document. Now the 4 different learning styles are visual. So you're learning by seeing. So when you're doing this, you'd actually look at, say, charts or graphs. So when you're a visual learner, you'd actually look at these things, and this is what helps you to actually learn. So you'd probably have graphic organizers. You'd need lesson outlines. Picture aids, so you need to see pictures, images, videos. And also PowerPoints are a really good one for this. So these are some of the things that you would use as a visual learner. Now, auditory learner is a learner who learns by hearing. So you'd most likely read aloud books or recordings. Listening centers. Verbal instructions. Discussions. And mostly repeat it to a friend. Because then you hear yourself repeat these instructions or this learning that you've gone through, and you're helping yourself do that. So we looked at visual and auditory. Then we've got a read-write learner. Now this is a learner that actually learns by reading and writing. Now in this style, you'd need books or texts, dictionaries, and also you'd be doing a lot of note-taking. So these are the characteristics of a person who has a read-write learning style. And then we've got kinesthetic. Now kinesthetic is someone who learns things by doing them. So for this style, you would incorporate body movement, it'd be quite tactile. So this means that you like to feel things, to touch things. And then you're quite a hands-on learner. So you actually just like to get on and do the things. So these are the different learning styles. So it's up to yourself what you do. There are tests that you can actually do online to see what type of learner you are. You'd go on the internet and type in learning styles tests. And it just asks you a few questions and you answer as honestly as possible. And it is possible to be a visual learner and a kinesthetic learner in one go. It's possible to be a mix of certain things. So it's just see what is your preferred learning style. So back to my slide here. So 5.2, we're going to be describing the behaviors of people who are confident, lacking in confidence, and overconfident, and also relate it to yourself. So confidence is quite an admired trait in a lot of people. It's how we can recognize the behaviors that are associated with confidence that we need to look at here. So how can we learn to recognize these, and how do we know we can behave in these ways as well? So the following points are some things that you could consider that might make a person confident. So a confident person might believe in their own abilities, talents and strengths, and they're not paralyzed by doubts. They're assured that by their own beliefs, and they're not really looking for approval from others. They know that it's not needed. They're happy within themselves. They're confident that they know exactly what they're doing. Confident people know they have a lot to offer to the world. They have a lot of respect and value for themselves, and they bring it to life. They treat others well, and they expect the same in return. So they're not hesitant about making sure that their own rights are being met. So they know if you're going to treat me in a certain way, I'll treat you in a certain way too. If they're not being treated right, they will speak out and they will say, no, this is wrong. So it's certain but realistic about their goals, and they know that they're going to accomplish these. They believe in their plans, and if they do have a failure, they think, okay, it's a setback, it's a challenge. They don't regress on it, they don't focus on it too much, they use it and they make themselves say, right, we've done this wrong, this little activity didn't go right, how can we fix this? So they're confident enough that they can actually go on and, take on challenges, and they can even act even if there's a risk that they might fail in that. They identify themselves with other confident people, and they also celebrate other people's successes. They have big dreams and they act on those dreams. They actually picture themselves in a successful way in whatever they're doing. They accept the recognition of others, and they don't diminish it or deflect the recognition, because they know that they deserve this recognition. They're not saying, oh, no, it wasn't me, it's okay, that's just normal. Confident people accept themselves as they are, but they're really open to feedback. So they will listen to you. If you've got some feedback for them, they're going to listen to it, and then they'll act upon it. And confident people are open to new ideas, and they're also willing to entertain them. So below are some behaviors that might happen in people who might lack confidence, who might not be that confident. So what you'll end up doing is you start giving reasons for your actions. So if you're having some lunch with some people and there's someone there that you don't really know well and he's dropped his glass of Coke or something on the floor, what does he do? He's not just saying, oh, it dropped. He's going to start giving reasons like, oh, the glass was just at the edge of the table, or, oh, I'm so tired today, that's why I'm not concentrating. You start coming up with excuses for yourself. You start second guessing yourself. The glass has dropped. It's dropped. It could happen with anyone. But an underconfident person, a person who lacks in confidence, will make up any excuse or they'll give a reason for their actions. Like I said, it is your right to make mistakes. Humans make mistakes. You don't need to justify those mistakes. A person who's underconfident will actually immediately reply to criticism as well. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be situations within your own life where you might have had a critical comment or someone said something and it's not really been the nicest comment that they could have made. Or that you might have seen that you've said something to someone and then a friend of yours has replied back aggressively to you. So, for example, if you told your friend something like your performance wasn't that good today, they might reply and say, no, it's just because I was tired, or no, I was just thinking of something else while I was working. That's why I was distracted. So, comments like this are actually going to show that they lack in confidence. Confident people will actually listen to criticism and they'll actually see if it's constructive or not. Now, if it is constructive, they're going to accept it. If it isn't, it won't bother them that much. So an example of this could be if you saw a bodybuilding champion and you said to him, hey, you look pretty weak. What's he going to do? He doesn't look weak. He's a bodybuilding champion. Obviously, you know that you're not giving him the best type of comment, are you? So he's just going to smile and move away because he knows he's a champion. He's confident in himself. Now, if he wasn't confident in himself, he'd be like, oh, I was just tired today. Oh, yeah, I didn't get enough sleep. Or, no, I've not had enough time to work out over the last few days. So that's what an underconfident person would do. So an underconfident person would be compensating for a lot of things. So an example of this is a friend of mine looked really upset one day, and when I told him that, he replied by saying, I never get upset and I never have problems. So what's happening here? Is my friend a superhuman, or is there some sort of superhero that they're always happy? Of course not. That's not normal. Everybody gets upset. Everybody looks sad. Everybody gets tired. And all that person there is doing is compensating for his lack of self-confidence. So he's saying, no, everything's fine, I'm perfect, I'm all that. I mean, we've always had that one Facebook friend or that one social media friend that is always posting everything about their life and saying, oh, what a perfect life I have, what an amazing thing. Oh, I can't believe the day I had. It's just to get attention sometimes and just to try and compensate for your own life. Because unfortunately, we can't all be perfectionists, no matter how much we try to. So each one of us has their weak points, and we also have our strengths as well. So you don't need to compensate for your weaknesses because, like I said, no one is perfect. It's not possible for you to be a perfect person. There are things that you will make mistakes on, and there are times when you're going to be tired, and there are times when your performance may not be the greatest. But that's just normal. That's our nature. It's the way we are. So there's a way that you can actually bury your problems or throw them behind you, and that might result in you getting depressed or upset or procrastinating, where you're overthinking things. To be honest, you just need to get on with it and address those issues, and don't try to sugarcoat them. Like I said, nobody is perfect. It's something that is very hard to do. Everybody makes mistakes, and if you're just going to try and sugarcoat them or overcompensate for them, you might end up getting depressed about it. So own your mistakes. And then there's body language. So people who lack self-confidence, they'll always have the defensive position where they've got their arms folded across their body, they've got their legs crossed. That's them trying to make themselves small in a way, trying to not be as stood out as another person. So it's trying to be as unnoticeable, but also they're trying to protect themselves. They've got a closed body language where, you know, somebody might come up to them and they might say something to them and they should go, I'm not bothered. I don't care what you say. But in actual fact, they probably do. So which is why they've got that closed body language. Confident people don't take this position that much unless they're offended by something or if they're feeling cold. So you actually train yourself to forget about this position when you're a confident person. Now, we've talked about confident people, we talked about underconfident people, and now we're going to talk about people who are overconfident. Now, overconfident people can actually be quite brash, and that means that they're loud and they're really annoying and they've got really over-the-top behavior. They can be cocksure, so even if they tell something they don't know about, they're going to be confident about their information. So they might be telling you something that you're an expert at, and you're saying, no, this is not right, you're wrong. You know, this is not the right facts, we should check them again. And they're saying, no, I know, my information is perfect, I know, I'm right. They're never going to say that they might be wrong. Their level of confidence will be too high, and sometimes it can make their behavior way over the top, and it can be just disgusting behavior. They're quite arrogant. They can be openly discriminating. They can have gestures that are not the best. They can put other people down. So it's not a good trait. An overconfident person will also have a very big ego. It's going to be so very bloated, and they're going to think that other people are under them, that they deserve to be at the top, and anybody else that they see or talk to is below them. So that's what subservient is, when you think somebody is below you. So that was learning outcome 5.2, where we've looked at confident people, lacking in confidence people, and overconfident people. Now you're going to look at these 3 points and you're going to relate yourself to these. You're going to see, where do you stand? Maybe you're confident in some areas, maybe you've not got that much confidence in some areas. So you're going to see where your own personality is in accordance to this. Now we're going on to 5.3, and this is to explain the goal setting process and the difference between long-term and short-term goals. So this is where we're going to talk about setting goals. So in organizations, wherever you are, you need to be setting goals. It might be things to do with your work life, it might be things to do with your personal life, but you need to be able to set goals. It might be organizational goals, so where you want to have a goal of earning a certain amount of profit within your business, or to expand your business, or to get more customers. Or it may be some sort of a non-profitable goal, where you just want to make sure that you're carrying out its activities and making sure that you're reaching the targets that you want to reach. So say if you have a non-profit organization where you know you want to feed 50 people a day, 50 homeless people a day, your aim is to make sure that you've got enough food for that, is cooked, and that is delivered on time. So that is your goal, daily target. So for each goal, no matter what it is, you can actually formulate objectives that actually tell you what needs to be done to be attained. So these objectives need to be specific, measurable, and achievable in a given time period. So this is what we call SMART targets. So the importance of organizational goal setting. So besides providing direction for the organization, goals actually will help you to create a harmonious environment. So it's because everybody's going to be looking at going forward to a common set of goals. Everybody knows what's expected of them. They all know what the end outcome needs to be, so they can all work together. Everybody's sure of their role. They know exactly what's going on. So it will create a much more harmonious environment. So goals are normally planned ahead. they can actually be part of your strategic planning for your organization. So the leaders and the members, all the uppers here, can prepare for the enactment of these roles. So as they're being planned ahead, you've already got an idea of what your strategic goal for your organization is, and these are done in advance. So all of these goals, once they're achieved, actually means you've been doing successful planning. So due to this, employees who contribute their own skills and knowledge to make sure this happens can be rewarded. So this is where you would put in incentives and reward schemes. So successful goals are one of the bases for performance recognition. So you know that you're going to say, right, as an organization, we've reached our target, we've reached our goals, but who's helped you get there? It's your employees, obviously. So you need to be having some sort of reward system. It doesn't have to be physical rewards, maybe just a simple well done, or an employee of the month, or a team of the month. You know, just things to show that your appreciation. And it goes a very long way. Now, we've got long-term goals, and these are normally strategic goals. So these are part of the strategic planning. So the characteristic of a long-term goal will actually shape the direction that the organization is moving towards. So the success of achieving these long-term goals is the reflection on how well the board will conform to the organization's mission. So it will show how well their planning was, what sort of goals they've set, and how well they've done to go towards it. But in contrast, short-term goals are a reflection of how the organization's programs are performing. So long-term goals are strategic, they're set well in advance. Short-term goals might actually reflect some changes or something that they've observed and that needs to be done within the short-termness. So effective board directors know that it takes establishing, monitoring, and achieving short and long-term goals to help the organization progress. So that was 5.3. Now we're going to make our way over to 5.4, which is to assess your own time management skills. Now, do you often feel that you're getting extremely stressed, that you've got a lot of workload, you don't have time to do certain tasks, or you've been given too much and you're thinking, how am I going to complete this in the time frame that I've been told? That can be an issue. So as time passes, you feel like you've got too many tasks at hand, you don't know when you're going to do them, you don't know exactly how to effectively use your time. And this here will actually help you, give you tricks that you can help to organize your tasks and use your time effectively so you can get more things done each day. So this will actually help you to reduce your stress, and you're going to be doing better at the workplace. So time management is an extremely important skill, and it actually takes time to develop it, and it's different for each person. So what works for me might not work for you, and then vice versa again. So you just need to find out what system works best for you, what is the best approach for you. Now, we've got a few strategies here, and we'll see if these are effective. So these things will help you to improve your time management skills and increase your productivity. Now, an idea for this is that you should try and use this for a few weeks and see how it helps you. It's not going to make a difference within a day. It takes time to settle into. So we've got to delegate tasks. So when we get tasks and things that come our way, or we've got a project that comes our way, we tend to just sort of try and tackle everything on our own because you want to get it done in a particular way. Now, this can be really stressful. You can burn yourself out. You can just get that overall dread feeling in you. So delegating is where you're not actually running away from your responsibilities, but it's a very important function of management. So as a manager, you need to know how to delegate work to your subordinates. So your subordinates are the team members that are within your team. So you would split the tasks up and you would give each person a task to do depending on what their skill is, what their abilities are. if somebody's very good at advertising, maybe you'd give them creative tasks. If somebody's very good at accounting, you'd give them the financial tasks. So you put it in the right way to the right person. You also need to prioritize your work. So this is something that I'm a really firm believer of. Make lists. So make a list, and at the top of the list, put down the tasks that need your immediate attention. And then unimportant tasks can be put down after that, and they can be carried on for the next day. So you'd make a list. You'd go through your very important tasks first, and any unimportant tasks that might not get finished that day, they'll get put onto the next day, and so on. So you just carry it forward. So you're not carrying your very important, your prioritized work forward, carrying forward your unimportant tasks. So in short, prioritize your tasks to focus on those that are more important. Then you've got to schedule tasks. So get a planner or a notebook and list all the tasks that you have. Use your phone, use a calendar, anything that is most appropriate for you, you know that you're going to have with you all the time. And just make a simple to-do list at the start of the day. So like we said earlier, prioritize the tasks and focus on the essentials. And make sure that these tasks are achievable as well, so that you're actually doing these. If you're saying that you're going to do a 6-hour task within 2 hours, that's not possible. You're going to have to spend the 6 hours on it. So manage it so you know you've got the time to spend on these tasks. So to better manage your time management skills, you might think of making 3 lists. So you might make a work list, a home list, and a personal list. Make sure you set deadlines. So when you've got a task, set a realistic deadline. Like I said, if you know that it's going to take 6 hours to do a task on your own, and you've only got 2 hours to do it, you want to get it done with that time, you're going to have to delegate it, or you're going to have to give 6 hours to it. So you're going to have to decide what needs to be done. So try and set the deadline a few days before the tasks, so that you can complete all of the tasks that might get in the way. So challenge yourselves and meet the deadlines, and then reward yourself for meeting all these difficult challenges. So you might want to go out and get yourself a piece of cake, or you might want to go and have a special lunch, or buy that phone that you were wanting to buy. You know, reward yourself in an appropriate way for you. And then you're going to avoid procrastination. Now, I've said this a few times now. Procrastinating is where you're actually overthinking things. You're thinking, oh, I've got this to do, and I've got this to do, and then I've got this meeting next, and then after that, an hour later, I've got another meeting, and I've got 2 more tasks that need doing, and all this needs to be done before Wednesday. Instead of sitting there and thinking, I've got all this big list of things to do, get your list, write it all down. It'll be a lot easier for you to have it physically in front of you. Then you can decide which ones are the most important, what should you get through first. So rather than procrastinating, because that is going to waste your time and your energy, it's just going to cause you stress. You might be caused to have burnout, and you don't want that. Avoid stress, because when we stress and when we're accepting more work than our ability, your body starts to feel tired, and it can affect our productivity. Now, this is something that not a lot of people do. So you're there, you've got a very full workload, and you're thinking, right, how am I going to get through this? And then a senior manager might come your way and say, right, I've got another task for you. I want you to do another activity. Do you think you can do this, and this in 7 days? And you'll be like, yeah, of course, just give it to me. But in reality, you know that you don't have that 7 days to put on it. You're still trying to manage the previous tasks, 3 or 4 tasks that you're going through. So you can say no. You can say that at this time, I've got these tasks and these goals that I'm trying to work towards. I'm trying to finish those off. I will get them completed within 3 to 4 days. After the 3 to 4 days, I can make a start on your task. So it might not take 7 days for what you want, but I'll start it. So for example, it's Tuesday today. I'll start your task next Monday, and I'll get it done for you by next Friday. So you can negotiate about when things want to get done. And you can say, no, I'm too busy at that time. And it might just get delegated to somebody else, which is perfectly okay. So avoid multitasking. So multitasking is a way we think we're being efficient. We think, oh, we're going to answer this email. Oh, I'm going to answer this text from work. Oh, I'm going to do one activity from this goal that I've got here, and then I'm going to go and do another one. You are not being efficient. All you're doing is pushing yourself and focusing on different activities. Now, when you're multitasking, what happens is you're trying to get your head around different things. You're pulling yourself out of the flow of one activity and trying to pull yourself into the flow of another activity. And those cases, it's not the best thing to be doing. Multitasking can hamper your productivity, and it doesn't really improve your time management skills. So make a to-do list, set deadlines, and that will help you to stay focused. Do one task at a time. Finish a task, then go on to the other. And this is the way that you're going to be able to be better at what you're doing. And then you need to start early. This is a thing that is quite popular now, is that a lot of successful people have one thing in common. They start the day early. So when you get up early, you're calm, you're creative, you're clear-headed, you've got a lot more energy, you've got more productivity, and you're able to focus on the tasks that you actually want to do. As the day goes ahead, you start to get tireder and tireder, and your productivity level, it slows down. You're not as creative. So when you're getting up and you're starting your working day at 7 a.m., that you're going to get a lot more done compared to if you're going to start at 12, because you're going to be more energized in the morning. And also make sure you take regular breaks. So when you've got 10-15 minutes, take a break, because you don't want to be stressing too much. If you're sitting in front of a laptop or a computer for hours on end, it's not going to be good for you either. You're going to get stressed, your body's going to get bunched up. So every 45 minutes, you should get up and just have a little bit of a walk. So you might even just want to stand up and pace backwards and forwards, have your headphones on, do your meeting while you're standing up. It's things like this that will actually help you to be more productive. It'll help your body to stop aching. It'll give your hands some rest, so it's always a good thing to do. So make sure you schedule your breaks. That's the best thing that you can do. Set certain times. So when you set a certain time, you say, oh, at 11 a.m., I'm going to have my first coffee break. And you're going to look forward to it, and you're going to make sure that you do get up, because you've got a set target. You've set a timetable for your day. Then you can say at 1 p.m. I'm going to have my lunch. So 1 till 1:30, I've got half an hour there. You've got a structure to your day, and it really does help you when you're structuring your day. So take a walk, listen to some music, do some stretches, and also have some family time. Spend some time with your friends and your family and de-stress, relax. Don't take your work home with you mentally, because that's the most, actually, signing off, capping off, that's an issue with a lot of people, where you just can't leave things, you just overthink them at home as well. So it's a good idea to just take some time to relax and give yourself and your family and friends some time. Now, I want to take you on to here. Now, for the merit questions, it says to set SMART, personal and work-related goals, and to prioritize your own workload. Now, for the SMART, personal and work-related goals, I'd like to go through what they actually mean. So SMART is to be specific, so you need to know who, what, where, when, why, which, what is the goal. Measurable is, can you track the progress and measure the outcome? Attainable is your goal reasonable enough? Can you accomplish it, and how will you accomplish it? Relevant is the goal worthwhile, and will it meet your needs? And then timely is, when is the time limit? Will I be able to complete this in a month, in a day, in a year? So you're doing that. An example of somebody setting SMART goals is something like this. So it's specific. It needs to be well defined so that anybody can understand the goal. So something like, I want to improve my health. And then I'll improve my health by eating 60 grams of protein and so on. Measurable is, I want to lose weight. And it could be like, I want to lose weight 3 kilos by 31st October. Attainable, I want to reduce sugary drinks from my diet. And then how are you going to reduce those? Relevant is, I want to change my lifestyle. So I'll improve my lifestyle by making good food decisions. And then time-orientated, I want to be my ideal weight. And I want to achieve my ideal weight by the end of the year. So if you'll see, this is all about health. This is about somebody who wants to improve their health. And these SMART goals can be put onto your personal life, your work life, your home life, anything. Now, we do actually have a SMART target document on the learning environment, which is called 5M1, Smarter Goals Template. So this is something where you would put down what you actually want to do, how you're going to do it, what is the agreed goal, is it realistic, what actions are you going to take to achieve this, and how long will you do? And then you could put things like, is it ethical, and how are you going to record it? And for, where has it gone? There it is. For prioritize your own workload, we just need to make a to-do list. So sit down. So 5M2. So make a to-do list. Put the most important so at the top, most important tasks at the top, and then least important at the bottom. And remember, these tasks can be carried on. So your least important tasks, they can be carried on to the next day. And when you're doing a to-do list, what you're doing is you're making sure that your most important tasks are getting done that day. Now, we've got the distinction questions. So you're going to need to devise solutions for handling non-productive time-wasting activities. And there's sometimes things that I like to do for myself for here. So when I've got things that I know I've got certain tasks that I need to focus on. And I have a lot of things that might waste my time or I might get distracted. These are things that I do myself. So I'll make sure that I'll complete a task and then check my phone. So when I'm marking assignments or when I'm lesson planning, my phone, I might get a notification that I've had an email or a text message. And my natural instinct is just to stop everything and have a look at it. But no, I'll say, right, I'm going to finish marking this assignment first. I'm going to finish this section of my lesson plan first. And then I will go and check my phone. I do set some time to respond to my emails in set time frame. So I might set 10-15 minutes in the morning, 10-15 minutes after lunchtime, and then 10-15 minutes at the end of the day. So you've got those 3 time frames where you know that I'm going to respond to my emails in a timely manner. I'll set my break times and I will keep to them, and I'll know it'll start. There's a lot of advantages to this. It'll help me reduce on my stress. It helps me to actually get up away from my laptop, away from my desk. So I am actually getting that little bit of exercise. I'm not cramping my fingers or my legs up by either typing on a laptop all day or just, sitting in one position. And then we all know we like to gossip, we like to talk with our work friends. Don't do this when you're meant to be working. So save this for your breaks and lunches and stick to it. So if you know you've got a 30-minute break, talk to them. And then at that 30 minutes, say, right, we'll continue this conversation later, or we'll talk at the end of the day. So set it for your 15-minute break, set it for your lunch, talk to your co-workers, but make sure that it's not disrupting your work life. And then use a range of tools and techniques to develop your own creativity at work. Now, mine is quite simple. What I'll do is I'll use a journal or a diary to log any ideas that I have. So sometimes you're sitting down and you think, oh, this would be fantastic. How about I do this? Or maybe for me, I'd be like, right, how can I make my lessons more interesting? I might have a quiz, or I might like to have the students talk to me about something, so I'll quickly jot my idea down, and then I can look back at my diary, and then I can actually plan it into what I want to do. And then you can also use sort of computer programs to research and develop your ideas. I like to use PowerPoint presentations to make my lessons a little bit more interesting. I might want to add a video onto something or a quiz onto something. So there are many ways. I mean, you need to think about how do you jot down your creativity? Do you just put a little note in your phone? What sort of things do you do? So that was it for today. Tomorrow we'll be looking at learning outcome 6, and I shall see you tomorrow. Goodbye.